Good morning, everybody. As you can see, I'm back in my office, and it may sound a little echoey because we put a laminate floor down, got rid of that nasty carpet, so it's going to sound a little bit different, but oh, is it so nice to be back on my big new computer, this little laptop. It's old, and it takes forever to do anything, and you know, the keyboard's only like this big, so you're like this, and it took me 3 times longer to get anything done. But I want to thank all of you so much for the phone calls and the comments and the love and support. We appreciate it so much. And the text messages and cards and, you know, gifts and everything else. And thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it from the bottom of our heart. And don't worry, we're not giving up. Like I keep saying, I'm a Taurus and I'm very stubborn. And so is Mike. So is Mike. So we're very stubborn, especially when people try to shut us up, shut us down, tell us what to do. Oh yeah, that's just waving the red flag in front of somebody, especially our family. But I've got some news here this morning. I want to thank Laura Caput from Australia. She sent me this from Crikey, and it's an article about the leaders of the Jehovah's Witnesses ordered to destroy confidential records. So this is great, you know, getting this to the press and just getting the word out. And also, I am hearing that more and more are starting marches and protests on October 5th, and oh my goodness, Catholics are joining this march now, and they're going to be marching on the Vatican. So, and I know many of you are doing these worldwide. So thank you, thank you. And we might be covering more on this. You know, we've got something in the works. So, my goodness, you know, I just wish so bad that I could be at one of these, and I would love to go to the one in Utah. And unfortunately, you know, with my severe chemical sensitivities, it's very difficult for me to travel. Sometimes just, you know, using a public restroom if they've used a lot of chemicals, and forget staying in a motel or flying or on a bus or anything where there's closed in, you know, with laundry chemicals, you know, dryer sheets, laundry soaps, perfumes, anything like that. Heck, even hair gel and hairspray, you know, can set off my asthma. Enough about me. Anyway, I want to thank Chris so much for taking the time to translate all of this from German into English. And lots of news here, a lot going on in Germany. My goodness, and I'm just going to read their email. Let's first say that you both do a great work regarding Jehovah's Witnesses, Watchtower, and others. Looking at it for a long time, and it's amazing. A kind of wake-up call to all who have fallen asleep. Furthermore, hope you're both doing well. We're doing much better, thanks. Below you will find some information about Germany and Finland. In Germany, Jehovah's Witnesses will be examined next year. It is the Germany version of the Australian Royal Commission. Now this is great news, Chris. Thank you so much. It is amazing how many of these countries are waking up and doing these inquiries. Hope the translation is accurate to get it. See the attached information and links. By the way, I'm not a JW, but was with them for some years, known them for over 20 years. Reading their articles just to know what is going on. I was surprised what they write. The current article is about information control. That is the reason why so many of them are resistance against the reality. So wish you both all the best and keep doing. There's much more to talk about. Greetings and take care. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. And thank you for taking the time, you know, and effort to translate all of this. And I'm going to put the links down below to all of this. Some is only in German. Some you can get it in German and English. So I will put the links down below. You know, sometimes you can go to the website and it will have a little tiny icon at the top to translate it into English for you. You can always use Google Translate. Breaking news. Child molestation of Jehovah's Witnesses is being investigated at the federal level in Germany. As the association JW Opferhilfe reports, child molestation among Jehovah's Witnesses has been noted with great concern by the Reprocessing Commission. The affected council and the independent commissioner for child abuse will be examined more closely next year. JW Victims Assistance engages with the Jehovah's Witnesses Congress, Mitsprach, say for victims of child sexual abuse, and I'm sorry for slaughtering those names. At the Mitsprach, say Congress last weekend in Berlin, we were able to sustainably place the problem of abuse among the Jehovah's Witnesses at the Reprocessing Commission. The affected council and the independent commissioner for child abuse issues of the federal government, Jehovah's Witnesses, will be explicitly included in the investigation next year. In her speech on Friday, the federal minister of family affairs emphasized her support for the commission and the independent commissioner. If you are a victim, please contact the Reprocessing Committee with your story. This is 100% anonymous. They help to treat Jehovah's Witnesses in a public hearing as they did with the Catholic and Protestant churches. Then there's a link here to the commission. Please help to uncover the grievances. We'll help you. If you have any questions, please contact our hotline at www.jw.help. And please, if there's any of you, child abuse survivors in Germany or know of someone, please let them know. Give them the links to this. Let's help the commission out here. This text you can find on this website. It is in German, but just to verify that this is not fake news. And when you search with September 19th at 3:22 p.m., it leads you directly to the article. And I will try to get the link to the article directly. And then they have the link to German and English. And Congress was on the 14th and 15th of September of 2018. And in Finland, there's also an investigation ongoing. Please see the attached link. And it is from about a year ago, 2018, but it's the League for Human Rights presses officials to probe Jehovah's Witnesses and other religious groups. And I'll put the link down to this article too. A number of former members of the Jehovah's Witnesses have come forth saying they were prevented from reporting sexual crimes to the authorities. The Finnish League for Human Rights stresses that freedom of religion does not empower religious groups to violate human rights. And that's what Mike and I keep saying about Watchtower and Jehovah's Witnesses. Your freedom of religion does not give you the right or empower you to violate people's human rights, and keep us from our families, and with the shunning and, all of it. Not going to get into all of that. But, this is what we have been saying all along now on this channel. And I'm going to put the link also to this commission. This is the English version. Independent Inquiry into Child Sexual Abuse in Germany. Sharing stories may be hard for survivors of sexual abuse. Maybe it is the first time they are telling anyone about the abuse. Nevertheless, their statements are very important to understand why abuse could not be prevented in the past. Our core commitment: we will listen to survivors and their evidence will not be challenged. We understand that describing their experiences may bring back painful memories. We will not judge them. We will be honest about what we can or cannot do. We guarantee their anonymity. Even in the event their experiences will be published in the context of a summary, each and every story is individual. By coming to terms with these incidents, we seek to raise public awareness of this issue. Independent Inquiry into Child Sexual Abuse in Germany. The Inquiry. The Independent Inquiry into Sexual Abuse in Germany investigates all forms of child sexual abuse in Germany, such as sexual abuse in institutions, by family members, by social environment, by unknown offenders, in the context of organized crime. Based on the decision by the German, I have no idea how to pronounce that, of July 2nd, 2015, the Independent Commissioner for Child Sexual Abuse Issues, Johannes Wilhelm Rohrig, appointed the inquiry team on January 26, 2016 for 3 years until March 31st, 2019. On December 12, 2018, the federal government extended its terms by a further 5 years until December 31st, 2023. The commission is dependent in its work, and commission members work on an honorary basis. And then it just goes on to describe more about this commission. So this is very good news, and I appreciate Chris translating this for me and letting me know about this. And I'm sorry it took me so long to get around to it. Now I've got something else here, and Chris says if you have time you can read the articles, but they are discussing especially that where the elders abuse the children. Makes a comment, child abuse is becoming more and more of a problem for Watchtower and JWs, and the good point is they cannot deny it anymore. It is in the public and it's true. So I'm going to put the link down below also to these articles. And thank you so much for translating these into English once again. Trial begins in Dortmund District Court. 27-year-old admits, at some point I got greedy and wanted more. The perpetrator from Cayman had met his victims at the Jehovah's Witness meetings and eventually lured him to his home. An abuse trial against a man from Cayman began on Tuesday in the Dortmund District Court with a relentless confession. The 27-year-old admitted a series of sexual assaults on a 12-year-old boy. I had fallen in love myself into the boy, the defendant confessed at the start of the trial before the 31st Youth Protection Chamber. I used his curiosity. The accused had known the boy and his mother for several years at the weekly meetings with Jehovah's Witnesses. From April 2017, he had met regularly with the boy at his home in Cayman. From time to time, he then approached the boy sexually, and the meetings became more intense. At some point, I became greedy and wanted more. I took advantage of his curiosity. And of course he was disfellowshipped. And then unfortunately the link is just in German, so I have to translate it. Sexual abuse of 2 girls. Jehovah's Witnesses from Reutlingen convicted. The district court at Tübingen had sentenced a 35-year-old man from Reutlingen to more than 3 years in prison. He had sexually abused 2 14-year-old girls several times. The verdict at the district court of Tübingen is 3 years and 3 months. The man from Reutlingen has groped the 2 girls in their sleep for over 3 years and severely sexually abused them. The lawyer asked for a suspended sentence. His lawyer had called for a suspended sentence in the plea. It would have been too lenient, the judge said. After all, the accused committed the acts over 3 years. He added the 2 victims were 14-year-old girls. The girls had stayed with the perpetrators. The 35-year-old was the elder of Jehovah's Witnesses. Elders lead a church with Jehovah's Witnesses. The girls went door to door with him to attract new followers to the religious community. During this time, they stayed with the accused and his family. At night, the deeds took place. Isolated from Jehovah's Witnesses. In the end, the accused was convicted of 55 assaults in 3 counts of serious sexual abuse. The man was well served by the fact that the court does not see any risk of repetition for the time being, and that he is not penalized. The man has been ostracized by the religious community since the allegations came to light. He no longer holds office. Well, I would hope so. Okay, and then the link down below to this, and then the comment Chris makes is, that reminds me of Stephen Lent when he said apostate-driven lies. Well, in both cases in Germany are confirmed, and both accusers have confessed, and they were baptized members as well. So who's lying here, Mr. Lett? And their article, Love and Justice in the Face of Wickedness, is becoming obsolete and hypocritical as well. Love and Justice in the Face of Wickedness. and that's the one with the May 2019 Watchtower. I'll just read that paragraph 3 since Chris has it quoted here. Sadly, child abuse is a worldwide plague, and true Christians have been affected by this plague. Why? Wicked men and impostors abound, and some may try to enter the congregation. In addition, some professing to be part of the congregation have succumbed to perverted fleshly desires and have sexually abused children. We're all very familiar with that paragraph they had in their study article. So Chris's comment, both were not so-called professing to be part of the congregation, but within the congregation for years. So the problem is not only just coming from the outside, but among the Jehovah's Witnesses itself. Watchtower and JW should clean up their own house before pointing through others and keep their house clean. Sending you best wishes, and you're doing great work. Thank you for all your efforts you do to open people's eyes. Well, thank you, Chris, very much for this information. And I'm sorry it's taken so long to get to it. We've kind of had a mess around here. I haven't heard back from the YouTube channel whether I could mirror these videos or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a link down below in the description to these films. I done a video, probably about a year ago, about the Kinemo film kit that was available through Watchtower back in the early 1920s, I believe it was, maybe 1920s, somewhere around in there. And you could buy the projector for $30 and then each film for $12.50. Back then, that was a lot of money. But someone on YouTube has digitally remastered these films, and so I'm going to put the link down below. One was Russell and the Great Pyramid. So this is a great piece of Watchtower history for those of you like us who had no idea. So I want to thank Callan very much for, sending me the link to this, and just love that Watchtower history. So thank you everybody for everything, and now hopefully we can get back to work here now that my office is put back together and I have my files and big computer again, because it was really difficult because my files were on my little laptop, so it's like I had to dig out my external drive and go through all of that. So anyway, you all have a wonderful week, and we love you. Bye.